was, during these readings, I had one Professor Ryder made me sketch of things and study. Simplicity, then studying the Parthenon, studying there. Then came a simple house called the Farnsworth. That was by Mies van der Rohe. That inspired me a lot. I don't know what got into me that night. I just wrote a letter saying, "Dear Mies," imagine a student, the second, third year student writing to that super great man. I saw this picture, this photograph. I was truly inspired. Would you believe me? Within 1 month, the postman knocks on the door, and there's this book, sent the works of Mies van der Rohe. I was stuck. But typical of me, as in the thing opened the book, the letter was from his secretary. Mies acknowledges your presence and sends you this thing as a person appreciating his works. I sent a simple line back, "But you deprived me of your autograph." Would you believe me? Within a month, I get a neat little envelope, Mies van der Rohe, inside one sheet, Mies van der Rohe. I said, that Superman had the time to go through each letter and send it. I mean, that made an architect. That makes the difference. Then came the chance meeting the Butte because of Buckminster Fuller at the airport, not knowing who the hell he was. Who is this old man sitting next to me, stretching around, watching him talking about. He was talking about space frames and said matchsticks and space frames. In the end, he said, "Thank you, young man," because I was asked with the tourism department, somebody is sitting in the airport, he needs company, will you go and sit with him? So it's better. In the end, he says, "Thank you for meeting," started talking about lots of things, tetrahedrons, and just all went above my head. In the end, he said, "Thank you very much. Who can give him, he can keep my card." I met this card. I said, "That must have fun. I've been sitting for 1.5 hours with this man. No wonder he was talking." That became another flavor. To a point, we did an assignment as soon as we started an office. Before people or anybody even knew what the concept of tetrahedrons and frames were. That one is an award. Only thing they said, "Will you come and direct it?" These idiots worked with me on that. Make it possible. We said, "We only design, we don't know how to put it together." And the great man here said, "You won't call it the cube, you will call it the Butte." Would you believe it? Even today it's called the Butte all over. Yes, I went to Italy, I went to Austria, I went to US, they call it the Butte. I was amazed the word is gone. These are things that inspire you very, very often. And meeting finally, this epitomized again in 1972-73, meeting another great man, not who the hell he was, and learning organic architecture to its absolute form of delivery was Jeffrey Berman. I don't know, one day he came and sat in my office, somebody said, "This man has been thrown out of Ceylon, he's sitting with you, doing something with him." All solid. I said, "Who are you?" I didn't know, I was busy with my work, something. I said, "Since my landlord had asked me to look after you, look after you." I took him Spencer's, he would take me to all places. Would you like, this is where I discovered architecture lies in every detail which he said then. And he said, "Now look at this," and there's architecture. I looked at, that's why I asked you youngsters in the morning, when you look at your hand, when you look at your sketch, when you look at anything, it is architecture. How do you realize that? I still remember, we went to Moore Market, which was the old place in Chennai. He said, "What is that?" I said, "Sir, above that is a dustbin. Can you pick up 2?" We picked up the 2 of them. Then we were doing a hotel renovation for Spencer's. He said, "Don't show it to anybody, bring it in." Then on the way, he said, "Stop the car." I said, "What is that?" I said, "That's the lungi which all the people wear." He said, "Buy some colorful ones." We bought them. Then on the way, we bought something else. Still remember, brought it back, put it back, quietly pushed back into the room, caught one of the girls, people who were looking after, redid the whole thing, redressed the thing into a waste paper basket, the other one into a bed canopy, and then pushed it in. I said, put some tassels, put all this. I said, don't tell them where you got it, what it is.
100 here.
I hope it's not a call from me. Then, when we called the general manager, he said, it's absolutely beautiful, but this is very expensive. How to tell him this cost is nothing? He said, keep quiet, let's charge half of what he's asking us to pay. Would you believe that was a journey of a man, unbelievable. We should read their works, study the works. Then it made me go on to Ceylon and see his hotels. Even today, paying architects, ladies and gentlemen, here, they're the finest hotels ever designed in the world. All that we see everywhere is rubbish. Those 5-6 hotels inspire me to such instinct. Simple, absolute simplicity. To be simple, very, very difficult in architecture. That journey pushed me on to many other journeys going abroad. And another last thing before I forget, which I was talking to your chairman and things, you must learn to understand the other disciplines that make your architecture possible. Especially your structural engineers, your HVAC people, your acoustics people, your people who understand materials, and then every other aspect, including the lawyers. Otherwise you'll be in jail. Your building will fall. I won't share that other experience with you another time. Some of them knew when 3 of my buildings collapsed, when the great Infosys building collapsed. I was almost encouraged till somebody said, you did not fail. I'll give you the story. The judge should be, no, he delivered what he asked. You people didn't know how to put it together. It was an amazing recovery stage. It shows you need the courage. I could have been insane. Probably I am sometimes. But it is, but it's important to think beyond the norm. You will find the world of architecture opens to you unbelievable. But it is a struggle, and a struggle with every second, minute. I can't share. I'm going to ask Murli permission, because I'm very emotional at this point, but this is not pure emotion, it's behind heavy rationality behind it. You're one of the first to acknowledge the thing. I will keep quiet, I don't know what you hear. I want to, from the Fountainhead side, to acknowledge the presence of architecture in this fabulous surroundings. A small award from Fountainhead to your students every year for a particular subject. The details of which I've worked with the director, that's all, and the thing.
Thank you very much, sir. I now request Professor Solomon Vedamuthu, the director, to address the gathering and also to
dignitaries on of the days, especially invitees, fellow architects, most of all students of mechanics, School of Architecture. I think I've been assigned 2 of the most difficult tasks this evening. One is to speak after Jason, and secondly to introduce somebody who's at the helm of affairs of the apex body which governs architecture education and profession. But before that, I want to at the outset first congratulate the man of the match, Jason. I did not know Jason when I was studying, but I was fortunate to hear about him from Jasper, because Jasper was the cause for me to join architecture. So indirectly perhaps Jason also plays a role there. But then when I met Jason, he's 10 years older than me. I have to say this because I'm a little older than him. When I met Jason, it was not like, Sir Jason, etc. It was just call me like Jason. That's about it. I'm still calling him Jason.
He doesn't grow.
He cannot grow. But we grow because of him. But before I get on with my second task, which is the most difficult one, I would like to first acknowledge the presence of the architects who have come simply because we call them. The architects who have come simply because we call them. But then, it's even more gratifying because most of them are my classmates. The batch of the summer of '72. Yes. 6 of us are here again. Or more than 6, I don't know. I see architects can't count. But then I'm really, really happy that these guys are here. Because I know if you invite an architect, you can be almost cocksure that he's not going to come. Because when I invite an architect, he doesn't say, I'm not going to come. He'll say, yes, sure, sir. Everybody says the same. Because that's how an architect is. He's never negative. It's not that he doesn't want to come, he wants to come. And he's tells with all his heart that he's coming. But then he forgets about it after. I don't know whether I do it to others. But then I'm very fortunate because every time I've called, at least 10% have come. And these 10% are very, very close to me. Not only my classmates. Of course, my classmates are mates with a lot of class. That's why I told Professor Sohani. He said, is it a batch reunion? I said, yes, a classmate reunion. But then more than classmates, even my seniors like KJ Peter and Raghu and Jasper, these guys have responded with all their heart and they are here. I'm extremely, extremely thankful to them. And the least I can do is welcome them with flowers. I don't know how many flowers Betty has arranged here for them. But if I miss out anybody, please forgive me. Or stand up and say, where's my flowers from? I'll give it to you. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge Jasper Dawson. AJ Peter. Peter was my partner a long time. He's still my partner. They are family of architects. His son is an architect, my student and his daughter is also an architect. I don't know how he manages. Raghu. Mohan Raj. Simple. Daring and dynamic, gracious and gritty, eloquent and endearing, inimitable and inspiring are the adjectives that I will use if I am to successfully, justly, truly and effectively describe Professor Vijay Soni simply. He was the head and the director of our School of Architecture in Nashik for 16 years and 10 months. Right? Now he heads another school. Of course, that's managed by a lawyer. And it's one of the best schools. See, I was discussing architecture education with some of my seniors. In my opinion, most of the subjects people study architecture in Nana University syllabus is irrelevant. Okay, you respect it. But then there are schools outside Tamil Nadu which just do what they have to do. Idea School of Architecture is one such school. It believes in coexistence with nature and learning by doing. This is the only way one can learn architecture. Architecture cannot be taught. He also shares the same conviction as I do. So does Vyalajit, and I'm sure all my classmates will have this. We learned by studying architecture, not learning anything. But now we do not want to teach architecture. We want to make them learn. The only way in which you can do is by demonstrating and inspiring them. A bad teacher teaches. A good one explains. A great one inspires. That's how teaching can be done, if at all teaching can be done. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure, privilege, honor to introduce you, present to you, a great friend and a visionary, a friend you can throw a lot with, without the slightest hesitation. This is my conviction. Professor Vijay Soni, President of the Council.
I have visited a number of places in Chennai and in other places in Tamil Nadu. And this opening has never failed me, I must tell you. I must confess. Every time I say Vanakkam, I get a good applause. Anyway, I bring you greetings from 54,000 architects in this country, 253 schools of architecture in this country, and over 30,000 students. I represent all of them. I would be failing in my duties if I do not place on record my appreciation towards the organizers, and especially the chairman, Mr. Murali Kumar, for having allowed me to participate in this function, to be part of this Tiruvilla for architect Jason. I must also say here that I will give Solomon his treat for having said all the good words about me. He richly deserves that treat from me. But on a more serious note, I think a lot has been said about Jason, but what has impressed me most about Jason is his simplicity. I don't know how many of you have realized that we are all dressed in suits. I don't know, some of us have even specially got clothes made for this occasion. Look at this. And his attire also tells us what kind of architecture he practices. We all practice allopathic architecture, right? For us, the sun doesn't rise in the east, but it rises in the west. We're always looking at the west. I think if you have looked at the little show that was put up, the kind of architecture that Jason has been producing, you don't see echoes of what happens in the West in his work. And I think that is one of the most impressive things about the work that he has done. There's another aspect about Jason that I must share with all of you. That he is always willing to help. Whoever goes to him for whatever, he has never denied what is asked of him. And I think that takes a lot of time and courage. Just recently we were having this thesis competition finals at Bangalore, and suddenly someone who had earlier agreed to be part of the jury backed out for whatever reasons. Maybe the ministry would not have been very happy with the gentleman for coming from the jury. And then in the last minute we approached Jason, and I was quite sure that he would not say yes, because it would have been beneath him to say yes at the last minute. But he was gracious. He said, no, if you want me to be there, I will be there. And he spent that one whole day with us for the jury. And I must also say that even though we had jurors from as far off places as Germany, and of course Professor Ram Sharma from Delhi, at the end of it all, we found that the comments offered by Jason were probably more appropriate than the comments offered by the others. He was the more popular of the jurors who were present that day. And in all happened largely because Jai Singh knows how to speak his mind. He's not bothered about what people will feel if he expresses his opinion. And what he says comes from within, from his heart. And that is what touches all of us. You all know that the Council of Architecture is going through some kind of, I won't say a crisis, but some kind of a fight with the AICTE. This is not the place to talk about it. But though Jai Singh is in no way directly connected with the council, every time I have gone to him for advice on what to do, he has been very outspoken. At times, if he doesn't agree with what we are doing, he has been very outspoken and told us on our face that, look, what you're doing, I don't agree with you. But all along, he has never failed to give the advice. There are a lot of people, you go to them and you say that, we have this issue, what do you have to say about it? And they say, no, let me think, or you get very political answer.